tell y'all a little bit about themselves. And we're gonna go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes for the day. Y'all ready? The food look good, y'all look good. We're gonna go ahead and get it started. First, we got Luke Lawal sitting here beside me. He's gonna tell y'all about himself. We got Mr. Correll McRae. And also we have Daron Big Baby Brand. Y'all give it up for the panelists one time. And we're gonna just start here to my left, then we're gonna go down the panel.
Real quick. I graduated from this very.
Hold up, wait. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I didn't attend. I graduated. What's up?
Graduated. He wasn't just here walking around. He got that degree on the wall. And I guarantee you probably every video he make on Instagram, that degree, right there on the wall, right behind it. That's good though. So we're gonna start right here.
Now let's let Daron go first. I was
you know what?
You stole my thunder. I was gonna say that.
Okay.
I can't be home and not say, hey, Auntie, how y'all doing? Welcome home. Y'all good? Are you proud of the building? What's that?
Yes, sir.
All right. What you want to start a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Just tell the people, what you do, where you came from. Yeah, let them know.
I am North Carolina bred. I'm from the Southern Pines, North Carolina, outside of Fayetteville, 26 in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Attended North Carolina A&T where I served as Vice President of External Affairs between 2006 and 2007. So I served and attended. This school saved my life.
Oh man,
if you want to be honest, like letting y'all know you attend here. The years you attend college is the most important years of your life. This is the only time in your life you will be celebrated as a black person. And the confidence, the encouragement, the build that you get here gave me the confidence to go audition for Wild 'N Out, go out and do BET Hip Hop Awards, go out and do McDonald's commercials because I built that confidence here. So I'm telling you right now, everybody in this building, this is the best decision you've ever made in your life is attending this university. Whether you see it right now or later, this is the best decision you ever made.
And that's real. Y'all go ahead and give it up for him. Yeah. Mr. Correll McRae, I think it's your turn now, man.
All right, thank y'all for having me. So my name is Correll McRae, as you said. I am a public health practitioner. So one of the things I do for the state is I coordinate vaccines.
Okay.
The state working with our state vendors that are providing COVID response. So some of y'all have seen some of us here with Cone and Old North State. So I'm sure you guys have visited with them. And I'm from Lumberton, North Carolina, and actually went to Winston-Salem State University. So up the road.
HBCU love, no beef.
Okay, absolutely. That's how we roll. So yeah, glad to be here with you guys.
Oh, he don't know
That's
this
cool,
video.
man. I'm looking at one of the people like, I feel like I can trust you. Like, you look like me to you in that space that we don't usually, So we got a warm welcome for you here today, all right? Luke.
Well, my name is Luke Lawal. I started the most influential brand in the country. It's called HBCU Buzz.
Blue check, baby.
HBCU Buzz. And HBCU Buzz is the most influential brand in the HBCU space, but it's also the most informative brand in the HBCU space. I started it from my dorm room at Bowie State University about 3 weeks after I pledged the greatest fraternity on the planet, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I got a chance to go to this leadership conference called NASAP. Have any of y'all heard of NASAP?
NASAP?
So NASAP gave me the encouragement to see all the different wonderful things the HBCU students are doing across the country. I got to hang out with the SJ president at FAMU and the SJ president at Morehouse, the same thing with the kings and queens, and I realized that HBCUs weren't celebrated in the media as much as it was celebrated on my campus. So I created HBCU Buzz to celebrate us, to showcase all the wonderful things we're doing, and just to give us a leg up in the media.
Okay. All right, y'all give it up for the panelists one more time. All right, great. Definitely a lot of information, about where y'all came from. Y'all respect the campus. I hope, y'all don't kick me out of here. For undergrad, I went to a PWI. I went to UNCG, but then I got my master's here at A&T, so I'm 2 degrees shorty. So like Daron said, I graduated. So am I Aggie? Yes, I got a degree with my name on it.
Well,
don't tell me that, Brand. Let me have my heart.
It's half and half.
Oh.
Undergrad count. Sorry.
Okay. He ain't gonna take my heart though, but we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So, we all came here, talking about the power that y'all have with where y'all came from. So one question that I do have for y'all is, how does your image affect your impact? Whether that be on social media, whether that be how you carry yourself in your day-to-day life, but how does the things you portray to the people affect your reach to the community? Whoever want to take it away.
Yeah, I'll take it away. So one of the things is I know it's important for me is, like you said, is to make sure I show up as all of me. And so one of the things I make sure I do is speak about my experiences as well as talk about some of the nuances that people that have historically made decisions and policies might not be able to speak to some very real lived experiences. And so some of that folds into what I do right now for the state in terms of the vaccine strategy and what we do on the ground and how we talk to communities and people of color. And so that's part of like why it's important. So really being able to reach into those communities that don't have a seat at the table, to be able to bring their voices back to the policy table, or as they like to tell me all the time on the ground, the big house.
The big house.
So it's just really fun to be able to share that kind of nuance, as well as we have people now looking at, you know, how can we make things better, and for all of North Carolina. So that's how it's a part of my impact kind of really influences, and got that from Winston-Salem State, and any HBCU will tell you, they will make you ready for those conversations to be able to be that advocate.
Okay. All right, Brand. Now, you got the locks, big black man, tattoos, you know, you go around the world doing as you please.
Right.
Talk about that.
Man, I go around doing it my way because I earned it. You know, just when I got to the form of entrepreneurship and I was able to work for myself, that's when I discovered that type of freedom. But entrepreneurship didn't happen overnight. Wilding out didn't happen overnight. I didn't even discover I wanted to be a comedian until I was 25. So just to be honest with y'all, y'all got time. I know the world and social media put a lot of stresses on y'all, but you got time to discover your passion. I just happen to be one of the lucky people that made passion my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So
passion, your purpose.
when I graduated, you know, I graduated right in the middle of the first recession when Barack won. So jobs was minimum, jobs was short, won't nobody working, it was serious. So I got a manager position at Walgreens. I worked and I tried stand-up for 6 years. For 6 years, I missed funerals, birthdays, weddings, like very complete selfish. But when you have a passion that is awakening you, that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all have something you want to do and you're scared to go for it. I'm living testimony that dreams do come true.
That's real.
And I discovered that by attending the school, you know what I'm saying? I had the confidence to be funny and be confident who I am as a black man, large with dreads and tattoos and walking that, you know, blindly, you know what I'm saying? So don't think it's gonna happen overnight, but I had a job. To chase your dream costs money, so checks went to the stage, checks went to rental cars, flights. I got on Wildin' Out because I drove from Charlotte after a show, beat Chico, beat I, and Osama been drinking, right? Freestyle Funny, that's how we started our comedy career. We drove, me and Chico got in the car. He told MTV, my brother, give him a shot. That's all he said. They was like, all right, we'll see. We drove 10 hours for a 15-minute audition.
And they did what?
10 hours for a 15-minute audition. That's what it took. You know what I'm saying? It took them 15 minutes to look at me to tell me whether they were gonna give me a chance or not. And from then on, my career and my life changed. That didn't happen until I was 27. So that first 6, 7 years out of college, I was just trying to figure it out. But when you walk into a place of entrepreneurship and you're free, and I have financial freedom now, and I made the right decisions, and now I can do what I want. Now I can really live my true and full purpose freely and blindly. So it's possible, you know what I mean? It's possible to be able to walk in the HBO room the way I look and demand what I want.
That's real.
It's possible to have 7 seasons of Wildin' Out. You know what I'm saying? Like on my own terms. It's possible to walk in and get another season of Basic and Bougie because we feel like it.
Feel like it.
But that was earned. That took years. But now, as you can see, I'm never looking back. And it's big things coming. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm steady putting A&T on the map.
Believe that.
One of the things I wanted to piggyback off of what he said was, when he was at this wonderful institution, what he took from this campus and propelled into his career, he shows up every day as himself. So when you think about brand representation and who you are, just think about who's looking at him and trying to be in his shoes. So when you think about your brand and who you are and as you carry yourself, just think about who's watching you. And that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, as African Americans, one thing I learned after graduating is everybody's looking at me, how I did it. How did I start HBC Buzz? How did you get to where you were at? How did you get your role? And part of that is just showing up as yourself, because when they see you, they can be like, oh, I can do that too. But if you show up as somebody else, then they might not recognize you and might not understand that they can do it too if you show up as somebody different.
They're gonna talk about you anyway, so why not be yourself?
Y'all feel that or not? Let me know.
Is that facts? They're gonna talk about you either way. Well, you could be a 4.0 student, they're gonna talk about you. You could be a 2.1, they're gonna talk about you either way. So why not be yourself? And at the end of the day, y'all, I'm telling you, the world ain't gonna tell you this, but everybody up here telling you, yourself is enough.
For sure, for sure.
I'm telling you, there's no way you can sit here and tell me I'm supposed to be on TV coming from Southern Pines. There's no way. There's no way you can tell me that, bro.
Your TV had the hanger at the top of it.
Bro, we didn't have, satellite. That's where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? People from small towns know what I'm talking about. Dirt roads.
Yeah.
Single wide, double wide.
Yeah. One layer.
Car porch or port, whatever how you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, so bro, that's good though, but what I want y'all to take from what they said is that the part that counted, nobody seen. But just like y'all did today, y'all ain't know what y'all was walking into. Y'all just knew that I'm going, so now I'm in the room. And what he did when he went 10 hours to New York, he put himself in the room. And then just being in the room, it started to bud. And now he coming back to speak to y'all to really tell y'all some real stuff. So my next question is, at the beginning of the pandemic, what's that, 2020? February, March 2020 is when we can say the world shut down March 15th. March 14th, everybody outside doing whatever they wanted to do. 11:34, March 15th, stop, put a mask on, we can't do that no more. So when the pandemic first started and they was rolling out the vaccines, were y'all quick to go get vaccinated, or were y'all part of the crowd that I'ma wait and see what happens? Because there's two sides of that wait and see what happens. You got people who, I'm gonna wait 5 years and see if they grow an extra arm to see if I'm gonna get the vaccine. Dude, it's gonna be too late. Or was it, I'm gonna just wait when I can actually get there to get it? Talk about it. Who won it?
I'll go ahead. I know for me, I lost it all, so it was bad for me.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I went to Miami one weekend, and on my flight back, half the flight, they had masks on. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, this is real. And then I got home and I tried to turn on the game, and it was just like, yeah, the NBA game is canceled. And I'm just like, wait, this is serious.
Yeah.
Right? And then the next day I called my mom to talk about it, and she's like, hey, I'm sick. And I'm like, really sick. Not like, she's like, old parents be like, hey, I don't feel good now. She was like, no, I'm really sick. And then that's when it hit home for me.
Yeah.
It's just like, anybody somebody next to you can get it, everybody can get it. So immediately I was just like, yo, I need the vaccine. I need to do whatever I could do to make sure my people's straight. Okay. And that was what it was for me. Like, I had to make sure that everyone around me knew that I did what I had to do to make sure you was safe. Mm-hmm. And it was just about thinking about my community, and that was my first step.
Okay. For real?
Yeah, for me, it was a little different. So, as a public health practitioner person, I'm just like, January, like, where is CDC? Like, what is going on, right?
Yeah.
And so fast forward to March, and
January, I'm like, what is going on? We all still out here.
Wow. Oh, January, I was lit. I was in Vegas in January.
My Miami trip was in
February.
February.
So hot boy.
Yeah, so my friends, we were just like, what is happening there? So there was so many red flags and protocols that we know, as epi people and public health people, that things were just supposed to happen. And so we had to be like, this is going to be bad. We're going to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so whenever it came down to when the vaccine came out, I'm talking to my family like, hey, y'all, this is really serious. Mm-hmm. It's airborne, and going into that conversation. So again, for me, being able to have that conversation was important. So whenever it was time for the vaccine, my grandmother called me
And said what?
Can I get my vaccine? And it was just like, I had written up note cards because I was like, all right, I gotta tell grandma this is what really line it out for her, but she called me. And so that was one of the things where it was like kind of refreshing, if you will, on knowing that the things that had been said was kind of penetrating and breaking through. And so for the family, it was just like, Grandma got the vaccine, so let's make sure she's good at least. And that's how we kind of really thought about it.
And to piggyback off your point, Corey, what I think we've seen a lot with exactly what your point was when it happened, there were a lot of our like older relatives who was just like, oh no, I'm going to get the vaccine. Look, I used to work at a suspension program with Guilford County Schools called Noriot, right across from Dudley. And it's a lot of like, big mamas. You know the old school big mamas, the grandma who got all the cousins at her house, so everybody from the family can come through. When the pandemic first started, I ain't had the vaccine. You know what they told me? Well, you better not come in here. What? It ain't nothing wrong with me. But just in their head, they like, yo, we watching TV and you need to go get the vaccine. But a lot of younger people was, I don't have those health conditions, so I don't need it. Which takes us into why everyone needs it. Is there anyone in the room who is familiar with the term of herd immunity? Anybody, raise your hand. If not, don't worry about it, because we're going to uplift you. That's what we're here for. Cool. So a couple people familiar with it, a lot of people not, which is a lot of why we're where we at right now. Corey, you want to tell them about herd immunity?
Yeah, so basically herd immunity, we're not going to go get real scientific. We're going to keep it right here so we can all talk about this, right? So the real thing with herd immunity is a big term that was thrown around, and folks are just like saying, just let everybody catch it, then we'll all be okay, right? Well, there were some things that were being conflated with that. There were some things that you just got to do. Like a certain amount of people have to get vaccinated before herd immunity can even kick in. And basically what we're saying is that it will basically, you will be okay. We will be good if it was herd immunity. But essentially there was a whole component missing when it comes to that vaccination piece. So there is a such thing as herd immunity. That we see that with smallpox now and some of the other epidemics and pandemics that have gone on. So there's a real thing about herd immunity, but you just have to do all the pieces first to get there.
That means you, that means us, we make each other stronger, because if I choose to do one thing, he do something else, and we all on different pages, but once we're all on the same page and we all doing the same thing, now we can actually move forward together. Brand, I got a question for you. I need you to define code switching.
Code switching?
Code switching.
I think it's a gift that most black people manage real early by the time they get their first job.
Okay.
It's usually your first interview where you're lying. Would you work on weekends? Absolutely, I work every weekend, whatever you need. You got vacation in 2 months, you're gonna be in Cancun. Code switching is important.
Right.
You gotta know how to play to your audience. Just like a comedian, you gotta know how to play to your audience. I wouldn't dare do my adult jokes set here, because y'all not fully adults yet. Y'all don't have a full understanding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't dare bring y'all to that. Y'all don't wanna hear that. Y'all wanna, get turned, have a good time, and live this best life you got. You know what I'm saying? You're young, you're supposed to live like that. But it's important to code switch. But it's also, you can code switch and still be yourself.
Right.
You can code switch and still have standards, and still have, some boundaries that you will not cross or you will not stand for, which is very important to lay out in all forms of communication. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm in a room with some execs from Viacom or whether I'm in a room with my homeboys, you can still code switch, but they know that you have a certain standard and you uplift yourself to a certain standard.
You hit it. You hit it right there, because a lot of people associate the word code switching with, I'm African American and I'm walking into a room of Caucasians or people of other races. But you can still code switch amongst each other. Because if I'm this dude right now and I'm chilling with Daron, but then I go chill with Luke and I act like somebody else, it ain't right.
Just put it this way. How many of y'all got friends from high school who didn't go to college? Okay. Don't you hang with them a different way than you hang out with your friends here at college?
Yes.
Total two different vibes.
Still
total. You go home, you walk the chain. You here? Whew, I would never.
Yeah.
Am I lying?
Nah, for real.
That's facts, because there's nothing wrong with them, but you're walking in a different light.
Yeah.
They can't relate to you. You trying to make something of yourself. They decided to chill, and that's okay.
That's perfectly fine.
But you still you. You just you with them, because them is a little okay. I can only hang on them once out the weekend, not the whole weekend. I give you Friday night. After that, I need to be cleansed church. Then you start back over before I come back to Greensboro. But then you got your college friends. Y'all can handle it different because you have similar goals. Everybody in here is trying to make something of themselves. Everybody in your circle of family is not necessarily, it's a code switch with your family.
That's right.
Some of y'all would never bring your family here. Oh, God, no. Jesus? Embarrass me?
Yeah.
Nah, auntie, no ma'am. Can't do it.
But now I'm glad you talked about that. I just wanted to shine that positive light on code switching, because people make it seem like it's a bad thing that when you out enjoying yourself, you act one way, but when you got to go handle business, you put on your suit, you put on your hard bottoms. Oh, now you think you too good for us. I'm not. I just got things to do.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, the most important trait in code switching is empathy.
Okay.
Because I'll share this with y'all. So like, I have a very diverse team, right? I can't talk to my assistant the same way I talk to my social media manager.
Okay.
Not because they're different in their career, just because who she showed up with today is different from how she showed up with yesterday. Okay. So code switching also means being able to recognize how someone is appearing and how they look and how they feel, to be able to adapt and make sure they're comfortable. And empathy teaches you that.
Nah, you on something right there, my brother. I'm gonna give you some snaps, and we're gonna use that to go ahead and carry over. So I heard you say you started HBCU Buzz at Bowie. At what point did you have to get a team? At what point could you no longer be Luke?
Yeah, because everybody want managers early. I think I need a manager. No, you don't. No, you don't.
At what point did you have to get a team so that you could actually move your brand forward and still be able to do what you wanted to do and still be yourself?
I mean, okay, so I'll say it happens in two phases, right? At the incubator stage, when you're trying to foster your idea, you want to bring as many people to your idea as possible.
Y'all listen.
One of my greatest mistakes when I started HBCU Buzz, and I tell people all the time, is like, I wish I called HBCU Buzz Black College Buzz, right? Okay. And I say that because the audience is bigger. I'm able to market to people outside of just the HBCU space. And what I did was I pulled 10 friends and was just like, hey, I'm thinking about starting this brand. What do you think? Then I scratched them and went to another group of 10 friends and was just like, hey, I'm thinking about starting this brand. What do you think? And the feedback I got from that, I balled it all up and started the company. Now, when you think of starting a team, you gotta remember that all of that advice, all of that input is what helps you start. So for me, that first step of teamwork is just like them just helping me foster my idea and figure out what my step one is. Then I think once you've developed your brand, you got to phase one, I honestly think it's the first day. No matter what your business is, you need the top two things. People that can write your contracts and people that can manage your money. Those are my top two. Like, no business should survive without you finding an accountant, someone that understands, even if it's not like full-time, just someone you can talk to and be like, look, here's my idea, how much is it gonna cost? Then the next person is, here's my idea, is this legal? Can I do this? Am I gonna get sued?
Yeah.
Like, is it above the law? Am I gonna go to jail if I do this? And without those two things, I wouldn't even start you.
Okay, so if y'all looking to start a business, y'all, he just gave y'all two things that y'all might want to look forward into having. So, a question for you off of that though, because you said something interesting. You said, I started with a group of 10 friends. I scratched them and then moved on to the next group. But you took something from everybody. Those 10 friends who was with you the first time, are y'all still friends even though y'all couldn't be business partners?
Absolutely not.
Oh, see? I mean, you want the real though.
Sometimes the business make the friendship.
Okay.
And when the business fails, so does the friendship. That's just the honest truth.
Yeah.
That's why you never, all right, when I'm out, everybody be like, well, where DC is? Well, DC is the associate.
Yeah.
Like he said, cast member. That's my dog, but that's not my friend.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you will learn real quick in this game who's friends and who's not.
Yeah.
And like Luke said, the realest thing about when you start chasing your dream, pursuing the passion, bro, nobody's gonna believe it.
Yeah.
Nobody. Your mama gonna tell you, nah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Your friends gonna tell you, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But that next set of friends, them the ones who push you.
Yeah.
It's never the first few people. The first few people are always like, oof, why would you do that? That's stupid. I know the first time I told my mom I was gonna be a comedian. Boy, bye, you ain't funny. I'll fry you. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to fry her, but now she's proud. Like, did you see my son on TV last night? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true, bro. Like, I'm telling you, man, that first group of people, you just trying to find somebody who's gonna uplift you when you don't believe in yourself. That's all it is.
I mean, absolutely true. I mean, when I think about the first 10 people I told about HBC Buzz, they're like, yo, you're a biochem major. Like, what do you, like, you know nothing about communication.
Oh, they trying to put you in a box.
That part. And the funny part is, it was true. Like, I had no writing experience. And it's funny because when I think about my grades in college, I got 2 C's ever in college. It was English 101 and 102. But the problem with that was I realized my downfalls and my issues were the things that were gonna make me 10 times better. And when you think about like the fact that when I first started HBC Buzz, like I had to figure out how to write articles, I had to hire writers and stuff like that, but I had 0 experience in that. So my first article was terrible. Typos, all types of stuff. But what I did know how to do is marketing. So what I did was use that experience to grow and build my brand, and then eventually I hired writers, but my first articles were terrible. I wrote them myself. And I used that experience to better my craft. I'm a decent writer now. I can write my own speeches. I'm like decent now, but I had to use my media company to develop that skill and to inspire others to work for me.
And that's a great point. Because like you said, everyone in here is striving for whatever y'all striving for in y'all individual lives, right? We got any seniors in the building? Yeah. Cool. All right, boom. Any senior accounting majors in the building? All right, so for you specifically, right? He says you want to tap in with the people around you to get them to help you. Next year, she could be working for a Fortune 500 company as an accountant, right? But if you got next to her right now, while she's still in her undergrad, and you developing your vision, and like he said, this is what I want to do, can we work together? That's how y'all see when people get popping and they be like, yo, this person been with me from the start. You know what I'm saying? Now she this big face. Now you want to be like, oh yeah, I know her. You know, but back then when she could have been of use to you, you ain't want to do it. But just tap into that. Use everybody for what y'all got around them. And Corey, that brings me to asking you a question because we're using everyone around us and information always passed around. Instagram now, Facebook, because my mom and aunts, they be sharing everything, tagging you in it. You're like, yo, bro, I'm about to block you. And you my mama. But I don't want to do that. But why do us people in our community have a hesitancy with medical information and things that are coming from those offices into the community?
Well, that's a good question, but it's a mixed bag. You know, you have the historical things that you've seen in terms of the medical mishaps mostly happening with Black people and people of color. Tuskegee is one of those things, as well as right here, right up this road in Winston-Salem, where you had the eugenics study that was founded by the organization I work for today. So looking at how I'm able to bring that all of me to the table speaks to those experiences, because whenever I'm going out to the community, those are nephews and nieces I'm talking to about healthcare who had real family members that were at the hands of some of these medical mishaps. And then you also have, you know, everybody's an expert. I mean, our president was telling us to drink bleach and be okay. So you just have being able to pull out what is factual, you know. So one of the things that we are able to do in these spaces bring the real truth to our very real lived experiences. And so most times if you just tell us what it is and keep it real and keep it all the way 100, we might listen to you, but it's just gotta make sense to us.
Yeah.
And so, so that's kind of one of the things working in spaces that have been historically been white. It's good. It's good to be able to all right, let's make sure you're accounting for X, Y, and Z, because that doesn't make sense. You're not even speaking to the people. And so that's oftentimes that mishap that goes over the head because really have no idea.
For real. Let people do what they do. He had his team, everybody had their own job. We got health care people who studied health, so it's their job to do the research and release the information. Let people do what they do because we're not the experts. But with that being said as well, when we start to talk about on-campus life, and Brad, I'm gonna take this to you, on-campus life and those years where you really don't got it figured out, but you just out here, I'm joining this org just because I wanna be around people. I'm gonna do this just because I wanna be involved. How did all of those things, Brand, affect from A&T as your role into your career?
I mean, when you get around good people, bro, it puts a spark in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna reach that unless you step out your bubble.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can tap in with yourself, bro. And you'll learn a lot about yourself as you join organizations, as you get older. You'll learn what spaces you can be tolerated, what spaces, you're not very well in. And that, when you harness all that eventually gets you to your goal. Everybody in here has a passion, but only 10% of the world discover truly what they want to do.
Oh, I gotta think about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, the truth is everybody's not gonna make it. But what are you gonna do to make sure you do?
I mean, just to piggyback on that, I was just gonna say, your top 3 friends make up your future. So it's just when I think about my friends, when I was an undergrad, they was just, it sounds abusive, but they were just yelling at me constantly. Yo, you need to do this. What are you waiting for? You can do this. And that's so powerful. And it's until you step off campus, you don't realize the power of having someone invest in you and your dreams and your future and how important that circle is. When I think about it today, I couldn't imagine where I would be if I didn't have close friends investing in me, telling me yo, you can do this. We believe in you. All those things matter. And they're tremendous. Even thinking about it, wait, can I do an exercise with everybody?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can everybody stand up? I want to show y'all something. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up.
What we doing?
I'm gonna do an exercise real quick because y'all a little tired.
That nigga
Spread out real quick. Everybody's already spread out. What I want y'all to do is just face me. And I want y'all to put your hands down to your side. Put your hands down to your side, right? And then I want y'all to close your eyes. And then I want you to put don't close your eyes yet. Put your hand up, just your left hand, and point it to the front, just like this. Your left hand, keep it up. And what I want you to do is I want you to turn it without twisting your body all the way back as far as you can. Without twisting your body, just turn it back as far as you can. Now remember that point that you got. Remember how far you got. All right, put your hands down. All right, this is what I want y'all to do. Put your hands to your side and close your eyes. I want you to think about that spot that you went to, how far you got, and then I want you to think about passing that spot. I want you to tell yourself, actually tell yourself, I can pass that spot. I can actually twist further than the first time. I want you to imagine yourself turning 10 times further than that actual spot that you was at the first time. And I want you to keep thinking about how far you've come and how far you can go if you actually just tell yourself. So I want you to tell yourself right now, I am going to pass that spot. All right, open your eyes. All right, everybody put your hand back up, your left hand, and I want you to turn. All right, put your hand down. How many people passed that spot?
Oh, Shabbat. Yes, Lord.
That was good, man. Got the blood running.
The reason why we the reason why we do that exercise is when you pick your friends, you didn't do nothing different the first time. Only thing different that you did the second time is you told yourself you can, you listened to me tell you you can, and this time you actually believe that you can actually twist put. So you gotta think about that every day when you're going out in your everyday lives. The people around you that are telling you you can do something makes the world of the difference. So pick your 3 friends wisely and make sure that you're surrounding yourself by people that are investing in you, telling you can do it, believing in you, because it makes the world of difference.
And most important, also, as they pour into you, make sure you pour back into them.
Oh, that's a word.
It's very important.
That's
you
a
know
word.
what I'm saying? To cycle that.
That's
Because
a
the
word.
same way you need that uplift, if you consider them close, feed them the same way. How many of y'all got friends that's not living to their potential? Be honest. You can look at them right now and be like, boy, you stupid. I know you can. Pour into them.
Yeah,
Pour into them and watch how they pour back into you.
yeah. And,
Keep pouring. I know it gets tired. I know black people, we are exhausted. I know.
yeah,
But don't give up on them. If you love them and in your top 3, pour. Continue to pour. It'll come back tenfold.
but and brand, it's a lot of those big topics, you know, can cause some rifts. But what we talking about today specifically is COVID-19 and the vaccine. But to exactly y'all point, what y'all saying, you got people around you who's y'all pouring into each other. But a lot of that information can be divisive. So how do we differentiate from who we have this conversation with versus I'm not gonna touch it because it might go the wrong way, correct?
I mean, you can tell, I'm sorry, but you can tell in the way they receive it.
Okay,
If they're receiving it in the bragging notion or whatever, then that's not for you.
okay,
You only want people in your space that sees the vision and y'all see it together.
okay,
Like, I can't have the same conversation with my friends who are very settled in their life.
right,
Very settled, you know what I'm saying? Family, car, and there's nothing wrong with that. Family, you know, comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Me, I want 5, 6 houses. Like, I just shot a movie.
yeah,
We're not the same.
different,
So the conversations aren't the same.
yeah,
You're getting up going to work, I'm getting up to set.
ooh,
You know what I'm saying? So you want people in that space that you're in, that same space, so you can encourage each other. You're not gonna get much encouragement from somebody who works at American Express. It's not.
no,
It's not gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be the same. That's the honest truth. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, what I would add is like, I just believe that when you show up as yourself, no matter what, I think the right people will gravitate to you and the wrong people will start bouncing away. Like when I say like, hey, I want a jet and I don't want to rent it out, I don't want to borrow a jet, I want my own jet, like my name on it. That makes people uncomfortable. They're like, oh damn, like he wants a jet. Well, the people that do want a jet, they're gonna start gravitating to
let's
me.
get a jet.
Yeah, so the people that, so I think the most important thing is just making sure that you're showing up no
Booty on
matter
both
what.
sides.
Right.
So has the COVID-19 vaccine question pushed any of those friends away or brought anyone closer? Have you experienced that?
I think it's definitely brought us closer. I mean, when I think about the equalizer, it's the vaccine. Like whatever, like I don't care where you're from, what color you look. I mean, I remember there were all these false narratives that black people weren't getting it as much. We Caucasians were taking vaccines at this part of the town and this part. Like I think with the vaccine, we all just realized like, hey, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't take care of it, there's nothing we can do. And I think there was a period of time where, you know, the naysayers and the false information kings and queens were putting out all this misinformation. But I think once we started to see it hit home, like once we started to see people that look like me get it and like, yo, this is real, then I think us as black people do what we always do. We came together and got the job done.
I mean, honestly, at my space, I had to get back to work. So I had no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Certain venues, certain buildings wouldn't allow you in if you wasn't vaccinated.
Okay.
Wild 'N Out Season 14 wouldn't allow you in if you wouldn't get vaccinated. Certain colleges wouldn't let you book, certain venues. So, I mean, I had just closed my house. So, new mortgage, new move, new place, you know what I'm saying? So I had to make a very executive decision. Like,
Right.
either, you know, do my research and figure out what's best for me and my community and my family.
Yeah.
Or stay
Listen to
woke
Instagram.
and go broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would say, most of that is at the intersection of
making people understand or helping folks understand, how that's going to impact your house should you get it.
Right.
And making folks look at it from that lens. So looking at the comorbidities or the exacerbating and the real outcomes that could happen, and you have to think, will you be able to go to work? Comorbidities means those things that you have other health outcomes, other health concerns,
right.
other things that are happening that we at the time didn't know what COVID would do to you if you were diabetic.
Yeah.
We didn't know if you we were seeing what was happening if you were asthmatic. And so really thinking about if you had a little sister who was to get COVID, are you gonna play Russian roulette with her life?
Yeah,
and you're making folks understand it from that perspective. And then, now that we know, diabetes is one of those things that was exacerbated or really had a negative impact on folks that were diabetic. And
to be honest with us, a lot of us had to take that hit.
There you go.
A lot of us, we didn't take it seriously until it hit your family.
There you go.
That's just the honest truth. Like, unfortunately, like big loss for us, Chico lost his mother, changed his life because of COVID. And nobody in our camp took it serious till that moment.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have taken for you to lose somebody close, because I'm pretty sure all of us have taken a loss in the past 2 years from somewhere, somehow, right?
Yeah.
So as a community, we just had to change our mindset and do better, bro. Like once it hits that close, like you cool with it as long as it don't hit your 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're cool with it, like, I'll hold on.
Hey man, you dropping something there. You want something. You want something. That 6 degrees separation, y'all heard about that? That means anybody you want to get in touch with across the world is no more than 6 people away from you. Look it up and think about it, all right? And see how you can use it. But right now, what we're going to do, we're going to go to the crowd. We're going to see if anybody out there, y'all have any questions for any of the panelists up there, anything y'all want to know. Come on here, bro. Come on, I want you to